Kim Bailey, she's Fulyana Osborne, and this is Inside Exec. Today we're going to talk about how we keep ourselves up to date. So we've talked previously about personal development in terms of thinking of your thinking and how you look at your activities. But in this instance, we want to talk about how you learn and the opportunities there are for learning in all sorts of different ways, because we all have different modalities that we're more comfortable with. For myself, I like to read stuff, so I'm much more comfortable reading than I am watching a video, and to a lesser extent listening to a podcast, which is probably sacrilegious to say. I do listen to them, but I find that a bit like going to a lecture, if I listen to them, I've got to take notes so that I can read again, that my modality is reading. So I need to be able to do something where I can read afterwards or read during the activity so that the message is reinforced.
I like learning through reading as well. Usually I subscribe to different things that they come to me, so I know that it's up to date, whether it's an industry-related publication or it is like a general, like the Harvard Business Review, or speakers of particular topics that I'm interested in, and they publish articles, I read that. But I think I even learn a lot more through other people. I find that particularly through my mentoring, it's so varied across so many industries and jobs that I feel I'm even more up to date about what's happening in the workplace now than when I was working in one company, because your views were, or your exposure was confined to one company and one industry, the one you're in at the time. In this case, I'm across small, medium, and global organizations, and through the individuals that share information with me, share experiences, and we talk about different topics that I help them think aloud about, I find that is the most learning for me.
What she's really saying is that she learns by talking to people.
By listening.
That's her modality, is talking.
Yeah.
Which we all know is quite true. But what I would like to do is we'll just do a quick run through of all of the sorts of ways that we can think of that you might develop yourself in terms of your work skills or your work knowledge or your background knowledge, and we'll see what we both think about those activities. So we might start big first of all and say seminar. Long seminar, so 3-4 days. Not a conference, a seminar.
I haven't been to one recently, but I do think that is a good way to learn, because it puts you into that frame of mind where you're focusing on whatever the seminar is about, and it blocks out everything else, and you can devote really good quality time. Participate as a participant, as a listener to the speaker, and everybody else in the room, if they actually... There is an opportunity for you to either discuss or listen to other people's needs and wants and experiences.
And so how do you determine then whether, shall we say, a peak seminar for the industry is really an opportunity for you to learn or is an opportunity for you to be seen?
Both, actually, because some of them is really networking, but I can't see how you would go there with a view to network and not learn, because no matter how many times or how well you know the topic, you will always learn something.
And you sit somewhere different each day?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
But by doing that, again, you're meeting people, but you're also talking about different topics and hearing different point of views.
Yeah, and particularly if you've got to do interactive activities during that time, then you're getting a whole influx of other ideas. Conference, internal conference first of all, so an organisation-based conference.
Well, yes, because you, as a member of that organisation, you have something to contribute. Well, with the conferences, different people attend different conferences. Depends on your job, and unless it's a big town hall where everybody is invited. I always say, doesn't matter what you think is going to be boring, not boring, whether you have the time or you don't have the time, you will get something out of it by meeting, listening. The conference could be, again, depend on your company. What if it's a national company and you get the opportunity to hear about areas that you're not normally interacting with and what they're doing?
I guess that's where I see the greatest benefit is where you attend a conference on the basis that you want to learn from other areas or if it's outside of your organisation, say it's an industry conference, that you want to learn about other players in the industry, or if it's on a topic that is across all sorts of industries, that you want to actually see what other industries do in the similar situations that you're facing, or even different situations. Because I think that's, for me, that's probably the greatest learning out of a conference, is to go to something that is across a number of industries, so I can learn from other industries about what they're doing in any situation and see if I can adjust that to what I'm looking for or what I might need to do. So next level down would be a standard training session, shall we say, in-house training.
Mm-hmm. So about a specific topic,
Yeah.
You're kind of attending or running it?
Well, we'll do attending.
Attending?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, it depends on what it is and how does it improve your ability. If it's, again, learning, you're going there to learn, so it's about a specific topic, and we all fall into that. Let's say it's interviewing techniques, and you think, well, I've been interviewing, for the last 6 years, so I know. Well, guess what? It's nice to keep refreshed. It's nice to keep listening to anything new, any new studies that you haven't had time to read about or you're not even aware of. So never dismiss it because, I know everything, because you don't. None of us do.
And it also might be that you might well have been doing it for 20 years, but you might not have been doing it the best way you possibly could. And
True.
you might actually learn in that activity
Yeah.
that there is a better way for you to be doing it to get a better outcome.
If I talk about technical learning, I used to be guilty of when I didn't know, I didn't want to go to a conference or a seminar about a topic that I really knew nothing about, because I felt a bit self-conscious about people will talk about it and I'll look stupid.
Or I won't understand what they're talking
Yeah,
about.
I thought the understanding wasn't, I would get some of it, but not all of it, and then I wouldn't be able to, follow it, etc. So I actually found that in some cases I had to go, part of my job, so I had to go for whatever reason. And I found I learned more there than anywhere else, because I stopped worrying about what I don't know and start listening and got a bit excited that I actually did understand 20% more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
And by listening to people and asking in a way for them to explain their take on it or what they know, I learned more, and I didn't really feel all this inadequate things that I was imagining.
Yeah. An extension of the structured, formalised training. Tertiary education, TAFE courses, tech courses, something that is longer than 2 or 3 days, something that we're talking maybe 6 months, 12 months, 2 years.
Definitely there is specific and general, so you could continue with the education, as we know with some of our podcasts before, about doing degrees and masters and so on and so forth. But it's also to do with an area which you need for your job. It might be a certification, like train the trainer could be one. Another one could be getting the financial certificate to be able to give advice, whatever it is that you need for not doing your job now, but for expanding your potential for doing other jobs, as well as general leadership. There are courses at places like Harvard and that very competitive. You go there for intensive, short period, but you come out with an equivalent of a degree.
The value of recognition of prior learning.
With some of them, yeah, there definitely is. So the more you do, obviously, the more you will be able to have recognized. But I think the best thing is to remember is you're learning every single day and you're growing every single day. So the academic learning becomes easier. It's the academic way of writing and presenting an essay or exam or whatever is a certain way. But your knowledge of life, your knowledge of work and experience help you even do better at studying.
Online courses?
I think there's more people doing online, a bit like I'm talking about people I know of. Online is very, very convenient. It still affords some face-to-face. They go to certain face-to-face. In some cases, it's mostly online. Some of those onlines are well supported. There is so many, it's very competitive, and you've got to be careful what you choose. But if you are doing an online, you have more flexibility with the time you study as well as work, as well as you're backed up by tutors and places like that. Again, that is very rewarding and very encouraging because you feel more comfortable. It's not for everyone because a lot of people prefer face-to-face learning, and lots of people
need more structure too.
Yeah.
Need the responsive, the
Yes.
interaction
Yeah.
that happens with having to be committed to a time to go to a class or go to a location. Magazines?
Definitely, industry magazines at one level, for example, fitness as well. Fitness magazines will help you stay fit and healthy to be able to learn more.
And she knows this because she's seen an ad for them.
Well, I tell you what, I know this, and I know I'm a good person to talk about it
Sitting
because
so straight up in the chair now.
because I don't use it, and we know the results of that. So you got to say it is. You got to do it. I'm not doing it, but you got to do it. And no, it's true. It depends on what it is. It's also the general knowledge of understanding whether it's health or any field of work is keeping up with what's happening and being relevant and understanding how technology have changed, how it helped all sectors like education, health, transport, etc.
Podcasts?
Podcasts.
Absolutely vital.
Actually, I like the idea of podcasts, and I think the convenience. I'm not trying to sell because of our podcast, but it's the convenience of it. You can choose to listen or turn it off. You can choose to listen while you're doing things, walking, jogging, doing the gardening, doing the cooking, whatever you want to do. It's that flexibility, and most of them are fairly short. So you think, oh yeah, I want to know that bit. Oh no, I'm not interested, but you'll know about it and look it up another time. So convenience, yes.
Recorded video style of lecturing, such as we might suggest TED.
Yes, I find them useful on the videos that I like YouTube because it actually shows you. So if I'm trying to do something and I read it and I got most of it, but I want to see exactly how to do something, whether that might be a repairs and maintenance or could be technical, whatever it is, or just understanding so you can take the next step. I'll give you an example in a minute, but basically with YouTube, there's more than one choice. So if you don't like the method or the style one person is showing you, you go to another one. On the learning and figuring out the next step, I've got a domestic example. Dishwasher stopped working and I needed to get someone to look at it. And of course, I wasn't never thinking of fixing it. But I did Google the information because I wanted to know what it is and all of that. And the machine did tell me it's an error 40. So I checked out what error 40 was. And so when I was ringing to book the service, I was able to talk with a little bit more understanding. That's all.
That's good. And I can tell you that it's been fixed, so it's okay.
Yeah.
The opportunity, now that we have technology, for us to, in inverted commas, Google things. So should we spend half an hour a day just surfing for information from anywhere and everywhere on a particular topic?
I have a bit more structure about that. I don't just randomly go, so I'm going to Google now. I will Google what I call a just-in-time need and learning. I need to know something like that dishwasher, I will Google it there and then, and that's it. But on average, I reckon, half an hour a day overall is probably works out. But it's structured, and I would jot something down or in my head, remember, I want to know more about how to do X. And then I think, okay, well, today I have half an hour, I'll do it. Yep. And that sort of way of learning, yeah.
So when we look at that approach, that's the basis of what I wanted to talk about today, is that we identify for ourselves areas where we want to know more information, we want to learn a skill, we want to develop a certain area. And if we keep a record of those somehow, then when we have got time, we have got an opportunity, we can go back to that list and think about, firstly, the best way for us to learn in terms of our own learning preferences, and then where we might go for that information, whether it needs long or short-term learning activities to make that happen, and then do the research about where might be the best place or the most appropriate place or the most appropriate way to do it. So it is about planning, it is about structure, it is about this being a managed activity, but I think what we've covered for you today is the variety of ways that you can actually bring to bear to learn the things that you want to learn, that you identify for yourself that you need to know or that you would like to know in any arena. And I think that'll do us for today. So thank you for your attendance. I'm Kim Bailey, she's Fulyana Osborne, and this is Inside Exec.